Welcome to episode 28 of the Brick Clubhouse. I'm Chris, and I'm your host on this journey into Lego tonight. And I'm joined by my friend, my co-host, my partner in crime.
Don't keep going.
No, yeah, we'll just leave that.
Quit your head.
Just jump in, Evan. Thanks, Evan.
My name's Evan. For those of you waiting for that one, yeah.
For joining us tonight. Thank you for everyone out there for joining us. And I think we need to start with a little bit of an apology.
Yeah, you do. I don't.
Because we recorded this episode once already, before Thanksgiving.
We did.
And we had some technical difficulties, and we chose not to release it. So we are, now that all the holidays are done, we are recording again.
All of the holidays are over.
Well,
all of
Thanksgiving.
Them.
We're going into the next holiday season.
It's a real holiday season.
Which I have to say is one of my favorites. I am super excited that Christmas is here. As we sit here in Evan's living room, the Christmas tree's up, stockings are hung on the mantle with care.
I did all of it. My wife didn't help one bit.
I'm sure you did. I believe that not at all.
Just kidding. It's all Bailey.
I'm not surprised.
I have been hanging shelves and stuff up and working. I've actually been pretty productive the past few nights here. So,
well, that's good.
We each have our strengths.
I did do all the decorating myself.
It's true.
So, Bailey and I can commiserate later.
Bailey loves it.
I love having the house decorated for Christmas. It's super fun. And we're going to get to some of that in a minute. But before we get into our Christmas decorating, we need to thank our sponsor for this episode of the Brick Clubhouse, and that is Bricks and Minifigs San Diego North. So happy they make it all possible. It's a great little Lego store located in Rancho Penasquitos area of San Diego, and we would love for everyone to stop by and get some Lego for your Christmas.
Got some good retired Winter Village sets used.
We do.
And are there some sealed ones this year?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
One of my favorite ones we actually have sealed in box right now. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that in a minute.
A little preview for later.
Because tonight we are talking Winter Village. We've teased this. I feel like we've teased it for like a month now.
Chris, we haven't only teased it, we've recorded it.
We have recorded it.
We have literally already done it.
Once before, and we are doing it again. I love the Winter Village sets. I have to say, it may be one of my favorite. It's not really a theme, more like a sub-theme.
Yeah, it's like a sub-theme.
One of my favorite sub-themes of all of Lego. I know you haven't really got into Winter Village too deeply.
And by too deeply at all. Yeah, I don't have any.
You got one of the little ones this year, didn't you?
That doesn't
count. Little elf.
That doesn't
little
count.
elf.
I haven't gotten any of the actual Winter Village sets.
Okay. Well, my journey into Winter Village started
many moons ago.
Like 2010, I want to say. We were gifted to the first two Winter Village sets that there were, which was the toy house or the toy shop and the bakery. And we were so excited to get them. The kids built them on Thanksgiving that year. They each had one to build. And it was super fun. And it started
they got them on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It started a tradition where we would always get the new Winter Village set and build it on Thanksgiving while we were waiting for Thanksgiving dinner to be ready. It gave the kids something to do while all of us adults were busy trying to get everything ready. And my mother-in-law started the tradition of the Winter Village sets.
That's fun.
And we've continued it. It's one of the reasons why, as an adult, like, I stayed into Lego even as my kids grew out of it. Because it was like the one thing that we would put out every year, and it was kind of our Lego thing. It actually really inspired me. Like, when I did my presentation to Bricks and Minifigs to get a store, like, a big part of it was about my Winter Village.
Oh, nice.
So, like, Winter Village sets hold a special place in my heart and
in your corazón, if you will.
Got 'em. And I haven't put up my Winter Village the last few years. There's just been a lot going on, but this year I did it.
Yeah, you did.
It's all set up.
I saw the pictures.
Yes.
I'm sure I'll see it in person. I think tomorrow, right?
Yeah, one of these days.
Yeah.
But we'll put some pictures and maybe some video in the show notes of my winter village. It's not as impressive as some of the winter villages I've seen photos of people in the store.
Are you talking like mocks
off.
Or just like?
Oh no, like full on builds with their winter village.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you talking about like people that have made their own, or people like just setups with these
using
sets?
These sets? Now, I'm kind of a purist. I won't go beyond the winter village sets in my display.
Yeah.
Where other people are incorporating the Disney castle and the Disney train and all sorts of
Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah, Harry
like
Potter stuff.
Hogsmeade Village.
There's a lot that goes like with the winter village. Looks really good. There's even some Bricklink sets. I really want to do a rebrickable one this year that takes the Queer Eye and makes like a little chapel for the
Queer
village.
Eye set.
Yeah, the Queer Eye set.
Not the Queer Eye itself.
No.
Yeah.
That would hurt to take some eye out.
Yeah,
anyhow, I thought it would be fun for us to go through all of the Winter Village sets, but who wants to go through all of them?
You do.
We're going to draft our favorite ones.
You would love to.
I mean, I could sit and talk about all of them, but I don't think we want that because drafting things is way more fun.
Here, I'll just record myself going like,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No,
yeah,
because by doing a draft, you have to be part of this. You have to participate.
And if for those of you that can't tell already, I guess Chris kind of already touched on it with the whole, haven't really stepped into it, but this is more Chris's area of expertise. There's been episodes in the past, for those of you that have been around, like when we talked about Animal Crossing and stuff like that. Those were kind of the episodes where I took a little bit more of the charge on it. But this one, this is one of the things that is really important and special to your collection. So I get to kind of take a little bit of a backseat and just hear you talk about it, which is fun.
And I can't wait to share my village with you when you come over later this week.
It does take a village.
It does. But we're going to draft our favorite ones.
What are we going to pick? I have no idea what you're picking.
Lego this year put together like a whole history of the Winter Village collection. And we'll link to it in the show notes that's on their website. It highlights a lot of the newer ones, but it also goes back to some of the early ones. They have a whole timeline of the sets going back to 2009, which I thought was super fun. So we're going to link to that. And we'll also link to the list. It's another chronological list of all of the Winter Village sets as they were released. And we'll link to that too. That's the list we are going to be looking at when we make our picks. But Evan, I'm going to give you the first pick.
I'm going to pick.
I've already talked so much.
No, I'm just kidding. I was going to be like set number 77092, the Great Deku Tree.
In your dreams.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine? Could you make a winterized Deku Tree?
Sure, just put white and stuff on the leaves. Yeah. No, but it was a total joke. For my first pick, I guess. So this is actually a set that I mean, a lot of these sets I didn't know existed before I worked at the store. But this is one that we had a trade come in last year where there was like a box, like a bin where people
we got almost all of them.
Well, yeah,
like
but
a whole village.
Yeah, this box had like multiple of the Winter Villages sets in it, and it was my task to go through and like find all the minifigures and complete the builds and find all the little pieces and put them all together to sell.
Lucky you.
Yeah. It's almost as good as the first day when you do premium bulk, but another story.
Yeah, I'll have it somewhere.
But yeah, so this one I saw and I really like. And so this is set number 10249. This is the re-release of the Winter Toy Shop. So this one came out in 2015. So the very first Winter Village set was the Winter Village Toy Shop. And then they re-released it 6 years later, updated it a bit. But this one, I just feel like for me, obviously getting gifts for Christmas is a huge part of Christmas, and I think that's something that I always think of when I think of Christmas. And so I love all the little toy builds, like the biplane and the helicopter and the ferry and the rocket ship. The little Jack in the Box is really fun too. There's a ton of minifigures in this set, including 2 Christmas carolers, which are probably the highlight figures in this set. 8 minifigures in total. And I believe it's the largest Christmas tree build from any of these Winter Village sets. So aside from the sets that are specifically Christmas tree sets, I think this is the largest Christmas tree we've gotten.
I think it is.
And it looks really good. And you got like the gold, like the yellow star at the top. You got the little side build of the bench with, I love like that old style like light post that's built with the wreaths on it and the little kitty. Yeah, and I just think the idea of like a toy shop, like, I don't know, like the Santa Claus movies and a bunch of other, like, I don't know, like a Christmas toy
Christmas.
shop.
Yeah.
It's, and, I think there's, lots of toy shops that are no more. I think this generation is much more online based, or like you go to a store like Target and you go to the toy section. But like I feel like I was part of one of the last generations that had truly just like dedicated toy shops.
You can also go to Bricks Minifigs.
You go to Bricks Minifigs, yeah.
But you're right.
There was one on like the strip mall down the street from my house growing up. We'd walk down to, and a giant one on State Street, downtown Santa Barbara. That's now a bank.
Oh yeah,
that just tells you all you need to know about America. But no, it's So I think this is just very, not only the idea of the set, but just the execution of it too. It's a really, really good one.
No, I think it's a great choice. The Christmas tree in this build is still one of my favorite Christmas trees they've ever done. I love the way they strung the lights on it, using the little rope and clips on it to hold the lights. The star at the top is just fantastic. Just the translucent yellow. It's one of my favorite ones. So that's also that's a great pick to start.
That's what happens when you give me the first pick, Chris.
I know. I like to give you the first pick.
Oh, you're such a giver like that.
It just seems like youth should get the first pick.
Hmm.
I am going to go in a different direction for my first pick. Now, you picked your set, came out in 2015. I'm picking the 2016 release, which is set number 10254, and that is the Winter Holiday Train.
Oh,
I know
course.
It doesn't surprise anyone that I would pick the train. I wanted them to do a train forever before this. They did an early like Christmas train like before Christmas Village, but it was only released in Europe, I believe. It was super expensive, and I just could never justify getting it before we had a Bricks Minifigs around that would have such things. But I love having a train in my village. I have this train that goes around the whole village. I know a lot of people use this to go around their Christmas tree. It's a super fun holiday train. It's all decked out in holiday colors.
As the name suggests.
Yeah, but
sorry, that wasn't me trying to make fun of you. It's just,
yeah.
It's what it is.
But unlike a lot of the Lego trains that are city high-speed passenger trains or other things, this is like the classic steam locomotive, but all in Christmas colors, green and red. It's got the red caboose that's decked out with garland and berries. One of the little cargo flatbeds has a Christmas tree that rotates as the train goes around.
That's fun.
And it's got a bunch of packages. I did motorize mine.
Yeah,
so
you did. You did.
The second car where you would have like the coal and stuff is all filled with the motors now, so there's really nothing in that but the motor that makes it go around. It came with a whole bunch of fun toys, little robot builds and little remote controlled cars and a nice little bench. The bench is going to be like a recurring theme.
There's lots of bench side builds
in the Winter Village.
And did we mention that this set has a bench?
We should track if all of these have benches or just the first two so far. But I love this. I love this train. It was a great addition to the village and one that I wanted a long time. So I'm going to go with the train for my first pick.
Wow, I didn't see that pick coming.
I know.
The joke isn't that you picked the train. The joke is that
we told them we've already recorded this. That's
okay.
No secret.
You told me before the podcast that I could throw you under the bus, so I'm just taking every opportunity.
A lot of people that draft things.
I'm taking every opportunity.
Like everyone knows the draft.
They do it ahead of time. No, I know.
So we're one of the few that
I'm just taking advantage of you letting me do that. So, anyways, It's okay. You can return the favor because my next pick is going to blow your mind. My next pick is going to be set number 10267. This is the Gingerbread house, consisting of 1,470 pieces. This set is super cute. I mean,
I love this set.
Again, what says Christmas more than a gingerbread house, right? But this one is edible. It's Lego. This one's also fun. This one was designed by Tiago Caterino, who is a former Lego designer turned Lego YouTuber, Lego Ambassador Network, a member. So I follow him on YouTube and Instagram and stuff, watch his reviews. And so it's cool that this is a set that he did design. Another theme with my picks, one, they remind me of Christmas, as most of these do, but also the little mini builds. There's a little rocking horse, a little train, some presents. There's a little baby stroller that has the printed tile with the baby gingerbread person in it. You got the lawnmower that the gingerbread man is pushing around.
I think it's a snowblower.
It's a snowblower. Why would it be a lawn blower, Evan? It's winter.
Exactly.
See, this is how you know that I've lived in Southern California my whole life.
This is having two California people.
This is how you know that I grew up in Santa Barbara and now live in San Diego. What is snow? It's not real. Yeah, no, the interior is also super cute. I think the building techniques with this one are great to make the windowsills and the archway leading into the house look like candy canes. You got the giant candy canes holding up the sign. You got a table with benches out front. Hey,
yeah.
I love the translucent 1x1 bricks that they put in the windows to make the windows look like all sparkly and shiny, kind of like they made of sour candy almost.
Yeah.
It's a really fun set. Again, it looks like a gingerbread house. I think they made the icing look real, and these minifigures are exclusive to this set, these two gingerbread minifigures. They did do one for a CMF series
but it's not
time, but
it's not
different.
as detailed as these.
Yeah, it's different. So yeah, super, super fun set. And one, I think part of the reason why I'm picking this one too is just because if I had to look at this line and pick one, this would be towards the top of the list. Of this is a one-off that you could have and not have to incorporate it into the rest of the village some of the other ones,
And I'll admit I didn't mention this when I was describing my village, but I kind of have two parts to my village.
Oh yeah.
So I have the part where the city where the train goes around, and it's kind of like everything that's grounded in reality. It's like the toy shop, it's the bakery, it's a firehouse.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm just mentioning there's lots of real life buildings, and then there's the fantasy part,
Lego buildings,
that is where Santa lives in the fantasy part, and this is where the gingerbread house is, because it just is such a whimsical set. The way they use the colors on the roof, like gumdrops, and like you said, the candy canes along the doors and windows, and a big candy cane next to the door with the address on it. It is just such a fun looking set,
and it has a bench, so it has to be on this list.
And it does have a bench, and I feel like it was about this time, maybe the year before, they really started putting a lot more detail into these builds, and
especially interior detail.
Yeah,
I think that's a pattern and a theme that we also talked about with the modular buildings, where the older ones, they put a lot of detail into the exterior, but then the interior is pretty bare bones. And now you see the past, 5-7 years, much more interior detail.
Yeah, they've added to the stories and the fact that they have the little baby in the stroller and
in the snowblower.
Yeah, I love this one, and I think it was a real turning point for the whole series, because it's also I guess we had Santa's workshop ahead of time, but this really started down the whole fantasy line. I felt so.
Hey, speaking of Santa's workshop, Chris, what is your next pick?
Oh, is it? Could it be Santa's workshop? I didn't even look at that as we were talking.
You created the best segue without even knowing it.
But yeah, my next pick is Santa's workshop, and that came out in 2014, and it is set number 10245. This is a really fun build. It's kind of two different sections. There's a tower kind of section that's two stories, and then it connects to another living area for Santa and Mrs. Claus. This is one of the only sets that I'm aware of that comes with Mrs. Claus. So
Yeah,
if you
could
were
be.
wanting her, this is where you would get her. One of the things I love about this is it was one of the first like real Santa sleigh that was not just like a little poly bag build, but a sleigh that was big enough you could have packages and stuff in back and have Santa driving it, and all the reindeer were brick built, which were super fun.
Before the days of the reindeer battle pack.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. It also has a great like conveyor belt where they're building the toys that always reminds me of Babes in Toyland. When
What
I
a great
see
film.
it is way underrated Christmas film. Everyone out there, if you haven't seen it, go find Babes in Toyland this Christmas. I think it's on Disney Plus.
Ed Wynn, the man. Oh, it's totally on Disney Plus.
And Tommy Kirk
and Annette Funicello.
Yeah,
the
it's
goat.
great.
I love Annette,
I grew up watching that.
I think I said this on the last recording, so I'll make sure to say it on this one too. But I showed a friend that movie. So I met a friend in college, and she would like loved old time music and movies and stuff, and she'd never seen it. And I was like, oh, let's put it on. And I forgot how weird that movie was. And she was like, she loved it, but she was like, what is this? Like the whole time. She's like, what is even going on right now? It's a weird movie.
It's not about the plot. It's about
it's
the
great.
characters and everything else. But yeah, it's a weird film. But I always think about it when I see the conveyor belt of toys and the elves building them. This was, I think, one of the first sets that came with a number of elves as well. Again, there may have been a CMF before this, but it really kind of launched like Santa's world. And I do not think there's a bench.
Chris, how
there
you?
is a workbench, but not
we'll count it.
a bench.
We'll count it.
So
It has the word bench in it.
We may have broken the string.
I am disappointed.
But yes, I'm locking in Santa's Workshop for my second pick. Where are you going to go, Evan? This may be our last pick before we talk about our honorable mentions.
Yep.
So
you say that like you don't know that.
Make it a good one.
This next one, set number 10235. This is the Winter Village Market, released in 2013.
Such a good one.
Yeah, this one it's not like one large build with a side build. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small builds, like separate small builds together. Gives you some modularity with it, gives you some customization abilities to make your own little Christmas market, and that's what it is. Again, shopping and carousels and stuff like that is really just reminds me of Christmas. And so, yeah, one of the builds, you have different stands. You got a hot chocolate vendor. I think there's a candy cane one and like pies and like baked goods. And then you got, a carousel in the middle with actual like not brick build, but actual molded like Lego horses on them, which is really cool. There is a side build of a
bench.
Yeah,
we're back to the bench.
I never left, bro. This one comes with 9 minifigures, quite a bit, different vendors and kids and just different shoppers at the market. I feel like this one, where I said with like the gingerbread house and in the toy shop, I think would be good like standalone ones. This one feels like kind of one, you don't have to have other Winter Village sets to go with it, but I think it would make it better because like I said, you can kind of shape it around a little bit, make it like a central kind of little market in the middle of a few of the buildings. I feel like would be a really good way to do it. Yeah, and it comes with a Lego pretzel, so how could you not want it?
Yeah, I mean, this is like...
I don't know why I said that. I just randomly saw a pretzel.
But this is like straight out of European winter villages or winter markets. I've always wanted to go to a Christmas market in Europe. Some friends of mine.
Is that like a thing that Europe's known for?
Yeah. No. So like...
Again, Southern California boy, I want to know.
Yeah, so cities will have like these center square of the city will have tons of vendors and stuff and often have like rides like the carousel. Some friends of mine are on a river cruise right now, just stopping at Christmas markets all along the way. Someday I'll do that, but not today. This to me just screams Europe and Lego's roots, and it is one of my favorite sets in my village. I do agree it helps to be around all the other buildings, but it really like solidifies that like what is Christmas in these little villages. Entertainment for the kids and shopping stalls.
Holiday shopping.
And it's a great one. So
thank you.
Good choice.
I also think that a lot. Yeah.
I had a hard time coming up with my third pick here.
Oh, what's it going to be?
And
is it going to have a bench?
That's a good question. I decided to go back to where it all started. Well, almost where it all started. One of the first Winter Village sets I got, though, and we're talking about the Bakery, which is set 10216. And there are a few things. The Bakery is a nice part of this. The building looks really good. It's, covered in snow. It's one of the early ones, so it's kind of a simple build. It does have a lot of like fun little Christmas treats in the window and baker out front. But what I really have always loved about this set is there's a side build of not only a bench, but there's a side build of an ice skating rink with a bench that has always been one of my favorite ice skating rinks that they've done. They've done a few, but it has a guy like that's crashed into a snowbank, and it's just his legs, and there's a woman taking a picture of it. And there's a really cool light string across the top that I've enjoyed.
I like the little molded owl.
There are a few sets that have ice skating rinks, and this one, I just think it's super fun. It's also got a great horse-drawn wagon full of Christmas trees that are being delivered. One of my favorite ones, like I said, it's also one of the first ones we've got that we had when we started our village, and it's always been one of my favorites. So I am going to pick that with my third and final pick.
It's a good one. You get an owl and a molded horse in this one.
You do. You picked the market that had a lot of stalls.
I feel like this would go well with the market.
It does. It also has a stall of selling Christmas trees.
Yeah, like a tiny one.
But
you
don't need a lot to sell Christmas trees.
1, 2, 3, 4 of like the Christmas tree like pieces, like the actual like tree, like pine tree pieces.
And this one doesn't come with like a Christmas tree build like some of the other ones, but it's still I really like it. Like I said, mostly for the side builds, but it's a good one. Are there any other favorites you would like to
I think
call out?
Just to mention a couple of things. I like some of the more recent sets. I do like the Alpine Lodge quite a bit. This is the one from last year. I like the building technique that makes it look like it's like the top half is like a log cabin kind of build. I think they did a really good job with that. And that side build, there is a bench, I think, but there's also a side build with an outhouse, which the kids love. People talk about that stuff all the time in the store. And then I also really do like the Holiday Main Street set. I know that there was some distaste for this set in the community just because some people thought, I would have rather they just used the piece count and made one bigger building rather than two smaller ones, which is fair. But I think the best part about that set is the trolley build.
Yeah, like the trolley makes that set
so cool. And for me, growing up in Santa Barbara, they had like the Christmas light trolleys. So downtown Santa Barbara has like trolleys that run, and you can take them up and down State Street. Well, not anymore. Oh, that's sad.
I don't think
because it's only open to pedestrians now. But you can go and ride the trolley and have hot cocoa, and they take you around to all the best neighborhoods in Santa Barbara for Christmas lights. And so a trolley is very also special for Christmas memories for me. And so I do like those two builds.
I think that one too, just touching on, because it's one of my favorites too, the trolley. I think the trolley is a great way for people that want a train, but maybe don't want to spend the money on the full retired Christmas train set. Because you can still power it. You can put it on tracks and have it go around. In fact, one of our customers was telling me about his village, and he programmed his trolley so that it will stop. It'll get to colored tiles, and it'll stop. And then when it gets to a different color tile, it'll go backwards. So he has a track that runs back and forth, and the trolley will just go down and back, keep going that way. So I think that's a great idea if you are so technically inclined to do that. I do like that, the trolley. One thing I do like about the stores on the main street is one of them's a music store, and it just has some really cool instrument builds that I think is fun. But I do agree the buildings themselves are a little out of scale to some of the other buildings we have.
Yeah, I think for me, like, it looks kind of like it looks like it would go well with like the Hogsmeade Village buildings. For those of you that don't know what it looks like, if you know what the Hogsmeade Winter Village visit set from a couple years ago for Harry Potter looks like, the buildings are kind of similar scale to that. Like they're not very deep, but they're 2 stories.
And that's what really I think. Like if they were even 2 more studs deep, I think they would feel more in line.
Sure.
Because some of the other ones I want to call out, set 10275, this was from 2020, the Elf Clubhouse.
This is a good one.
This was the first set we got the reindeer, like the molded reindeer in, which I think is fun. And this is also part of the fantasy kind of section of the village, because this is where the elves live. And it's got this giant waffle contraption inside, and there's like a telescope on the little part jutting out from the roof where you can go out on a patio, and the elves, I guess, can go watch Santa and look for him. I really like the Elf Clubhouse, and I also want to call out, I'd be remiss if I didn't call out the train station, since I did pick the train.
It's a good one.
From 2017. It's a great train station, and it really kind of completes, I feel like, the whole train. But they release those back to back. Yeah, I think there are a lot of good ones. I haven't had the chance to build Santa's post office this year, so I can't really speak to it from a building.
It looks good though.
But yeah, it looks really nice. I think using the hot air balloon was kind of a fun addition to that. So
the ones that are still available through Lego are the one from this year, Santa's Post Office, the one from last year, the Alpine Lodge, and then I do know that the Holiday Main Street is retiring this year, and I think I sold out over Black Friday.
Yeah, I don't know that you may still be able to find it at Targets or some places like that may have it. Or Bricks and Minifigs, but we don't have it right now.
You have it used.
Oh, that's true. We do have a used one. Yeah, I highly recommend picking up Santa's Post Office, or really the Alpine Lodge if you haven't, if you want a place to start, because the Alpine Lodge, like you said, has some really fun building techniques with the log cabin on the second floor, like the logs. It's a really fun one, and it looks really good in the village. That is kind of our Winter Village discussion. We'll have links to all those in the show notes for you to take a look at. And it kind of brings us to what's happening in the store.
What is happening in the store, Chris?
We are, as we've said, in full Christmas mode now. And I just want to call out...
It's December. That's wild.
I know. I just want to call out, we are going to have on December 14th an ornament build in the store where you can come and build a little ornament. You'll get the ornament kit and thing of bulk to help decorate your little platform that goes in your kind of, it's like a Christmas ball with a place for a minifigure, and it's got a Christmas 2024 brick inside. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to have some special Christmas torsos.
Oh, we're doing the torsos again?
Yeah, that day. They're new ones, but yeah, we'll have some special torsos that will come with the ornament, and you can always buy extra minifigs if you want, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So watch for details on that on December 14th. And we've also kicked off our 2025 membership club that is super fun. We started selling it on Black Friday. It's a great way to get the Bricks and Minifigs calendar with coupons for every month, as well as other special savings in the store and club member swag and a whole bunch of things that we'll be doing for members this year, including little builds every month that will be free to members that everyone else will have to pay for. So we're super excited. So if you are interested in joining the club, come on in, and we would be happy to sign you up. And watch our Instagram for details on the ornament build on the 14th. And that's just a great way to keep in touch with what's happening in the store in general, is following us on Instagram or Facebook. You can follow the store or the show. We are at Bricks and Minifigs San Diego on kind of all the platforms, and Brick Clubhouse on all the platforms. So we would love to have a follow on any of those. We've got a new team member that's going to be helping with some of the social stuff. I'm really excited that people won't have to endure my design work anymore. So be on the lookout for some new stuff coming in socials and some new video stuff coming. So I'm super excited. And just to close out, we would love to get a rating wherever you listen to your podcast. Give us that 5-star or thumbs up, whatever it be. It really helps the show. Or if you're in the store and would like to give us a rating on Google, we love those store ratings as well. In fact, I got notified of one while we were sitting here recording.
Hey, nice.
It's always fun to see a 5-star review come in.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Thank you to everyone that helps make this possible and is part of our store community. We really appreciate you all and hope your holiday planning is going well, and be on the lookout for some fun stuff coming in the store. Oh, I didn't mention one last thing. Starting next week, we'll be having the 12 Days of Christmas in the store with specials every day. So
nice.
If you stayed here to the very end, you are now one of the first to know to be on the lookout. So anyway, that brings us to a close for this episode of the Brick Clubhouse. Say goodbye, Evan.
Goodbye, Chris.